It is no secret that while manifesting a desire, you may stumble across signs to show that your desire is close or at the very least on its way. But do you even know what some of those signs are? Or are there some signs that you have been experiencing that you didn't realize were signs? Well, in this video today, I intend to give you 5 signs that show your manifestation is close or at the very, very least on its way if you keep doing what you've been doing. Now, the reason why signs show up is because you're feeding your subconscious mind a story through your thoughts and assumptions, your awareness essentially. Now, your subconscious mind takes this in and pushes out a reality to prove its truth. But while building that reality, you may get little tidbits along the way to show that where your focus is going, energy is flowing. And that is essentially all a sign is. It's just a little unintentional nod from your subconscious mind to show this is what I'm absorbing, and therefore as a sign to show keep doing what you're doing. But the first sign, jumping right in, is a new sense of inner peace. This could look like feeling calm, no longer feeling anxious, no longer feeling fearful, all the way up to feeling, abundant and prosperous and maybe even excited in some instances. Quite commonly, it is more of a feeling of calm and peace, but it can range anything that essentially shows a new state of inner being that would reflect that your desire is here. Now, the reason why this is the case is because until we consciously change our thoughts and our feelings, the things that creep up are our unconscious thoughts and feelings. Ergo, whatever the subconscious mind holds as true is pushed up into our mind and is pushed into our body, our thoughts and our feelings. So if you found that you now have an unconscious sense of inner peace, this is because internally and absorbed by your subconscious mind is a story that reflects calmness and inner peace. Now, if you've got that level of calmness, abundance, faith in the outcome, whatever it is, but in that general vein, this is because the work that you have been doing has been feeding your subconscious mind that story, and therefore it feels true. In your desired outcome where you have what you want, you would probably feel calmness, peace, and as though it is there. Therefore, while manifesting it, if you've been putting in the work, your subconscious mind, not knowing that what's out there is the current reality and what's going on here is not technically the current reality, if you've been feeding it in here the right story, it will reflect that story internally and then of course externally. The second sign is repeated synchronicities. Now, how far you're willing to go with the synchronicities is entirely up to you. For example, angel numbers. For some people they mean a lot, for others they don't. But essentially anything that you see in this 3D reality that calls out to you as a sign or synchronicity that you are being heard. For many people, it's seeing the initials of their person on a number plate, or watching shows that just happen to have a lot of the similar stories to your own that end in romance, or angel numbers for some. But this is a sign because of what I mentioned a moment ago with where your focus goes, energy flows. If you're focusing on romance and things like that, of course, your subconscious mind is taking romance in, and little evidences of it hearing romance gets pushed out there on the screen of space for you to see. Of course, proving that element of romance. Same thing with the initials, same thing with people that look like him or her and things like that. This is essentially your subconscious mind just giving out little breadcrumbs, little clues, so to speak, that where your focus has been going, energy is flowing. Now, if you've been feeding your subconscious mind the correct story enough to get these little things, it's only a matter of time before those little things turn into the big things. Seeing the number plate turns into messages. Seeing angel numbers turns into bumping into them. Things of that general nature. Coincidences, I think, is a very good way of looking at it as well. Many people pass off coincidences as nothing more than coincidences, but we know that the subconscious mind is just reflecting your inner world. So it's not a coincidence that you've passed them or that you see their number plate or something like that. This is evidence of where your focus has been going. Energy is now flowing. The third sign is positive dreams. So if you're having a positive dream, given that dreams stem from the unconscious, if you're having a positive dream, that shows that you've been feeding positive information to your subconscious mind, or it has positive information stored. Therefore, if you keep going with what you've been doing to create that positive information, of course, you're going to get a positive outcome following it. Now, one thing that I do want to preface with the dreams element is the subconscious mind is mulling over information, which means see dreams kind of like you would see tarot readings. If you get a bad dream, that means that you've been feeding it energy or thoughts and such that are undesired at some point in time. I don't know whether it's necessarily that day or the day before or whatever, but that does not mean that you are subject to absolutely experience that thing. Just like if a tarot reading shows up negative, that's not to say you will receive this, basically give up. It's what you've been doing right now. This is the possibility that comes as a result. So if you've been receiving good dreams, stay doing what you're doing. It's clearly having a positive effect. If you see bad dreams, don't panic. Don't wake up in a cold sweat and think that you've screwed everything or something like that. Not the case at all. See it as either recently or at this moment, you may be in the wrong kind of energy, and use it as a guide to switch up. Just like you'd stay doing what you're doing if you're getting positive dreams, stop doing what you've been doing if you've been getting negative ones, and you can identify undesired things that you've been doing. If you can genuinely say that you've only been in the positive, let the dream go. It's clearly old information being processed and flushed out. Therefore, move forward in a more positive light. Stay doing what you're doing. Number 4, and this feeds even more so into the synchronicities, but this is actual opportunities for connection. Bumping into them as you sort of go somewhere, passing them on the street, seeing friend groups of theirs, seeing family members of theirs, and things that kind of reflect that an opportunity has arisen for something to come. This, again, like the synchronicities, is evidence that your subconscious mind is letting little things slip into this reality as it's building your full fruition reality. So if you pass them, this is evidence of where your focus is going and energy is flowing. They potentially may not be fully conformed in that moment, but if you're seeing them or seeing things in relation to them, this is evidence that your focus toward them is being heard. And if you keep focusing on the end result and allow the faith and trust to stay there, you will manifest that end result. The fact you even bumped into them is evidence that it is working. Otherwise you wouldn't have, because where your focus goes, energy flows. So for you to have even bumped into them in the first place, you're being heard up here, and your subconscious mind is creating something relating to it. So keep going in that end result. Let the things that still need to shift, and your end result will come in. The 5th sign is a shift in beliefs. Now, this is very similar to the first sign in a sense of that inner feeling of peace and calm, but this is more relating to how you unconsciously see the individual. This is more in alignment with unconsciously seeing them as ready to show up for you, as open to your suggestions instead of stubborn, as ready to commit instead of being a promiscuous individual, as, what's another example? Ready to start being open with all communication instead of taking days to respond. The first sign was more of your own inner sense of calm and peace because of your internalized story. This is more so when you think of them unconsciously, or you have unconscious thoughts regarding them, your mind is naturally going to their better self, their better version, or the relationship that you have, or yourself regarding them. But of course, this is a sign because what happens internally is expressed externally. So if your internalized story is that they are now open instead of stubborn, only a matter of time before that plays out. If your internalized story is that they're ready to commit instead of wanting to sleep around, your internalized story must play out. So if you've noticed that you just seem to be seeing them in a better light, you're not so angry at them anymore, you're a bit more forgiving, you think of them in a more favorable way without having to consciously change your thoughts and things in that sort of general attitude, then that is an amazing sign, because that shows what's internalized is a better version of them, which means that it will externalize in a physically, as in not like appearance physically, but physical version of them as the better version of them. But that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is 5 signs that your manifestation is close, or at the very least on its way. If you've received any of these signs, great. If you haven't received any, do not fret. Your manifestation may still be in the workings and on its way. I didn't have any signs besides maybe the first one when manifesting Katie. I definitely had no external signs when manifesting Katie. And yet one day woke up to a missed call, reconciled the same day. But thank you so much for watching. Like and comment on this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. Check my music out in the description and help my band grow. And if you need any one-to-one help with your situation and are genuinely serious about getting the progress done, down below in the description and the comment section are the links to my services to help you with just that. But thank you so much for being here today. Bye-bye.